Hi friends, we are doing things a little different today. My audio was really bad, so I decided to scrap it and just do a voiceover instead. So hi, welcome back to the vlog. In the intro, I was just talking about how in Vlogmas I had talked about this channel being more than just books and how I then proceeded to just stay talking about books only. So don't worry, it will still be about books, but I will also show some of my creative things and homemaking because I am more than just a reader. I am a creative person and I want to live a creative life. So to start, I was thanking the friends that have stuck around since my scrapbook days. So thank you. You guys know exactly who you are. So I just want to take the time to say thanks for sticking around this long. I was also sharing that a few years ago, so many changes happened in my life all at once, and I stopped scrapbooking and donated everything. And if I'm being honest with myself, I just stopped being creative overall, like in general. But now I'm starting to document things in my own way. So cue the next clip. The way I am documenting things now is simpler to me. It is just pictures with words. I am using what I have and not really going out of my way to buy supplies. Last time around, I had everything, and honestly, I felt like it hindered me. This time around, I have limited scrapbook things, and I find myself being more creative. Go figure. As you will see through these clips, I cut the titles or headers with my Cricut, since I already own the machine. I have been cutting out these headers on white scrapbook paper and then coloring them in with colored pencils, and it has been so relaxing. I just turn on my music or put on the show that I'm currently watching and get to coloring. That was pretty much the recipe that I had been following for the months of January through March. But for the month of April, I changed things up. I painted the scrapbook paper with acrylic paint and then I cut the headers, and it was a game changer. As I keep doing this, things will be evolving, and I'm excited about that. I will have a mixture of acrylic painted headers and colored pencil ones. Another thing I would like to point out is the pictures. For some, I printed them on clear sticker paper, some were printed on regular white sticker paper, and some were printed on glossy photo paper. I decided that I prefer the clear sticker paper or the regular white sticker paper because it is less bulky. How will it hold over time? I'm not sure, but I'm okay with that. And to glue things down, I just use a regular Elmer's purple stick glue. So yeah, those are the supplies that I have been using to memory keep. And with that, I hope you enjoy this vlog. It's a few days in my life as I get creative and review a book that I read. Hi guys, it's a new day and I have actually finished Vera Wong's booktube. So let's talk about it. As you saw the previous clips, I did make myself an iced coffee, so I just wanted to kind of sit down and talk about the book again that I just mentioned that I read, and then I also did start another book and I am loving it. So let's talk about it. Okay, so for Vera Wong, I can't really go into a lot of depth into what happens because a lot of these characters are from the first book, and if I mention their dynamic or relationship, it'll give things away in the first book. So if you have not read the first book, I highly recommend that you read it. It is a great time. It's super funny. Vera Wong is super funny. She keeps saying, she brings up that she is a Chinese mother, so therefore she knows everything, and she knows how to snoop, and she knows how to investigate, and all these things, and she just does it in the most endearing way. She calls herself a vulnerable elderly person, but you quickly realize she's not that vulnerable. She is on the elderly side, but she's still strong. She still has her wits, and she is amazing and so funny. That is in the first book, and in the second book just the same, if not even better, because now she has this like oomph to her and a little bit of conceitedness, and I love it. It just, honestly, it just works. She isn't scared to hurt anybody's feelings. She's gonna speak the truth, and she will also give you food. As she's like telling you your truth and like hurting people's feelings, she's also feeding them. So I appreciate that, and I just love her so much. In this book, she finds herself in the midst of, let's just call it a problem, right? Is she kind of getting in the way of police investigation? Yeah, but you know, it's Vera. So she finds herself again with another case. In this one, we are trying to find the identity of a man who people know him by two names, and they're trying to find out who he was and like what happened to him and why did things happen to him. It's also very nice to see the characters from book one in this book and like see how they have progressed in their own lives and in their relationships, and see how they are still connected. In this book, I do feel that these stakes are way higher because the problems that we realize are happening are actual problems that are happening today in our real world. I just think Jessie Sutanto does such a great job at bringing light to this issue, because I don't think a lot of people realize how it happens and why people decide to do things against their will in a way. Not in a way. It truly is against their will. And it's just honestly just a real problem. And I think that Sutanto did such a great job tackling this topic and again bringing awareness to it. And she did it in a way where, as the reader, I was still shocked, but at the same time, because we're in Vera's world, it just made it a little bit more manageable and more bite-sized. But it did leave me thinking the rest of the day about it, and like how there there are so many people that are in these situations today. And based on this ending, I am super excited to see where the next book takes us and what other topic Sutanto has in store for us. And one other thing I did also want to mention, not just on this book, but in the previous book, I really love how Sutanto brings culture and food into these books. I love Vera's need to feed everybody, especially those that she feels need it the most, and like her motherly intuition is just always spot on. And I personally relate to that because I have noticed that the older I get, the more I do want to feed those that I care for. So I just really truly appreciate that in Sutantos, and that is such a big part of the Chinese community. But again, I'm Mexican American, so in my Mexican culture, that is also a big cultural thing of like feeding anybody and everybody. Especially if you have visitors come over, you always offer food, you always sit them down. That's just the thing, and I just so appreciate that Vera has that heart. And ultimately, I did rate this book a 5-star, and I recommend it to anybody who is into mysteries and thrillers, especially if you are into like bingeable ones. Book 1 and book 2 have proved to be bingeable, and they are so entertaining. They bring up hard topics but with a side of humor. Read this, please. It's so good. And now that summer is coming up, I do think this is the perfect book. And now onto the book that I'm currently reading. It is on my Kindle because it did come in from the library. I was not planning on jumping into this book yet, but the library hold came in, and who am I to say no? So the book that I'm reading is The Heart of Winter by Jonathan Evison. It says author of Again and Again. I have not read Again and Again. I know that it is a beloved book among readers. This is my first book by Evison, and I am loving it so far. I know that this book is going to be pulling at my heartstrings because it already kind of has. In this book, we are following a couple, Abe and Ruth. It is a dual timeline book. We do start with them current day, and then there's like, I don't want to say every other chapter, but so far it's been every other chapter. I don't know if that will change later on, but right now it is dual timeline, and it starts off with them current day, and some chapters are them when they first met, when they first had kids, and right now we're back into current day where I'm at in the book. And in the current day, it starts off with Abe's 90th birthday. We are introduced to Abe, Ruth, and their grown children. And from there, it quickly turns kind of sad because Ruth decides to finally go into the dentist because she has a loose tooth, and she decides to, just go, and she prepares to get it taken out because, again, she is elderly and she realizes, it's bound to happen. So when she gets there, they let her know that it could be cancer. So that's when we have the first, I guess, like flashback chapter, and that's when they first met. And when they first met, it was a disaster. It was a mess. Ruth wanted nothing to do with Abe, and the friends who had set them up on this blind date decided to continue to press on Ruth because Abe fell in love. He was in love. Ruth, on the other hand, was not. And then it goes back to the present day. They go to the doctor to see, what the biopsy results were. And unfortunately, it is cancer. And from then on, we just follow as they deal with the news, how they react, how they come together, how they form their plans. We were also introduced, again, to their not elderly, but to like their grown adult children. And it also brought up, so far, it's brought up also the dynamic of an adult child processing and maybe potentially having to step up to take care of their elderly parents, and like how those dynamics change, and then how the parents still want to maintain their independence and they want to be able to just kind of have each other, take care of each other. So right now we're kind of dealing with those dynamics. They've been introduced, and honestly, I just think Jonathan Evison is doing such a great job at introducing these topics. Again, I'm only 100 pages in, but I do think that this book is going to be heartwarming and moving. It's going to dive in realistically into marriage and what comes with marriage, the struggles, the compromises, but also the love that is shown in every single small detail of every single day. So I'm excited. I love these kinds of books. Give me a realistic picture of marriage and the struggles, because again, we're all human, and I'm in. So I'm 100 pages in. I will be reading this, more of this today. But yeah, I did not check in yesterday because I was in a flare-up. I do have an autoimmune disease, and some days are just not great days. So yesterday I just rested, and then at the end of the day there are some clips of me in the studio, but that's only because I just picked it up, so that today hopefully I was able to get back in, and I am feeling a lot better. I have my makeup done, have my hair done. We're gonna go on a date tonight. I'm excited, and I think we're gonna finish off the painting that is on the easel, so I'm excited. Yeah. Creativity has been a big part of my life, but for some reason or another, I have fought it or minimized it. But if I am being honest with myself, it brings me so much joy. So I am promising myself that I will no longer minimize it, diminish it, or leave it for later. I will include my creativity in everything I do. If you are in the same boat as me, I encourage you to take that leap and spend time nurturing your creativity. Explore different mediums and crafts. See what fills your cup. The time you spend will be worth it. That is a promise to you and to myself. When the little voice in our heads makes us doubt and question, does it even matter? The answer is yes, because joy is always worth it. Now, you might be asking, how does reading tie in with creativity? For me, it exercises that part in my brain where I imagine and I picture what I am reading. It's a moment where I get to jump into the world that the author has painted with words. So friends, let's be creative. Well, guys, that concludes this vlog that I decided to randomly make. And I am finished with my painting. The bowl didn't really turn out how I wanted it to, but it's okay. I'm a beginner. It's fine. At least you can tell that it is oranges. So that's progress for me. Yeah, overall I am happy at how it turned out. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I just want to also take a moment to just thank you so much for the time that you take out of your busy day, and you take your, valuable time out of your day to watch my videos. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. It really means the world to me. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.